Yeah, yeah. Mine didn't look very pretty. I can tell you that. No, it's good to just kind of do that out there a little bit yesterday. Have some fun, you know. But yeah, it's and for the record, those were 6 second to 7 second hang time punts. That's what I had him at, Steve, at least, you know. So yeah, that's that left a lot to be desired. I'm aware of that. That's why I am where I am, and they are where they are.
What did he offer? I'm sure he wasn't shy with his advice.
Well, apparently not. Yeah, I mean he was quick to get the cameras on me over there, and um, so yeah, it was. He did not give me a whole lot of advice afterwards. It was just more of some people like to pour into other people's cups, and he likes to obviously take away. So
Hey, it's all about that growth mindset.
yeah, that's right.
Coach, there is something to be said about his personality, though, because I mean, NFL locker rooms have all different kinds, as we know, but his seems to, border on somewhere between entertaining, and sometimes he'll even get under the skin of some of his teammates in a good way. But how does a personality like that fit into a locker room like this, which is very much about detail-oriented process and all that stuff, but there's some levity there, right?
Yeah, I mean you got to have guys like that, kind of glue guys or guys that connect player to player. That glue is important to building a good team. I mean, if you think back, it's really one of the cool moments of my head coaching career where we got him, I think, from Denver, right? And 3-4 years ago now, and a guy that I don't know if he was on waivers or if practice squad maybe, and we signed him, right? And to have him come here and be able to do what he's done and kind of be the person, if you will, in our locker room that he's become it's really been fun to watch.
Can you boil it down to the fundamentally common denominator for good return guys?
Catching the ball. Let's start there. You know that, Steve, right? At the end of that play, that ball has to be given to the referee by our player, and that's where I start, right? Whatever we can get, we get, and we try and create field position. I think, in the punt returns in particular, it's, hey, can you make one guy miss? Because usually it's one guy in your face, and you got to make him miss and then get north. So that's where I start with it, really.
Sean, how has Starr come through practice this week after getting some work in?
Yeah, I thought he did a good job yesterday. We'll see again today, Joe, where he's at here. He'll be listed as questionable for the game. So we'll just see.
How does the Dolphins said that Will Fuller's not going to play this weekend? Just how does that, I don't know if change your preparation is the right word, but how does it impact maybe what you thought going into the game?
Yeah, probably not a whole lot, Heather. When you watch the film of their offense, he hasn't been out there, so it's really about, I guess, nothing added to, from a personnel standpoint, respectively, nothing added personnel-wise to what's been out there.
And I know you kind of talked about this the other day, but maybe if you could expand on it. Obviously, Will Fuller brings a lot of speed. He's not going to play, but Jaylen Waddle has that aspect too. Just, what have you seen from him on film?
Yeah, explosive player. I mean, you can see how dangerous he is. Excuse me, with the ball in his hands. I went through the scouting process watching him in college, and so explosive player, dangerous with the ball in his hands, but just as dangerous as a receiver in terms of the routes down the field as well.
With this being so early in the season, now with 17 games, how much does the early portion of the season factor into your decisions when it comes to whether a guy should play and how you take him along injury-wise?
Yeah, I think all that factors in, John. It's one of the many factors that we think about, always trying to make a wise decision for our team. And some of that happened last week with Starr. Some of it may happen this week with another player or two. We'll just see. But it's just trying to do what's best for the team at all times.
I know there's always urgency. You always want to win. But getting ahead of last week, getting in the win column the first of a season, can you sense that urgency, for lack of a better word, from your team this week?
Yeah, I think we're focused on doing our job better, and I mentioned that after the game to you guys, and that starts with me. And you always try and learn from experiences, and I think that's been evident this week.
Sean, what are some of the strengths that Zach Moss brings to your football team right now?
Yeah, well, he's a bigger back, breaks tackles. He's dangerous with the ball in his hands in terms of power and speed. So he's a guy we have a lot of confidence in.
Where is he right now with his health?
Yeah, I feel like he's in a pretty good spot. He looks healthy. He ran well yesterday. He looked good out there. Yes, Heather, and it's harped on every week. But again, you get what you emphasize, right? And that's true in the classroom as a teacher. It's true in what we do out here, and usually that comes to the surface come game time. And so it's good that we're emphasizing certain things, but are those the right things? And what wins games is fundamentals. What wins games is discipline. What wins games is toughness. That punt protection, the protection piece of it in particular, is important, right? And it's special teams can sway a game one way or the other just by one play, and you saw that last night on the game. I didn't watch it, but my understanding is it turned on the last play of the game because of, as Heather mentioned, the discipline piece, and I'm just speaking on the lesson we can take from that. And so what we try and do is look around the league every week and find those things that our players can learn from, and we can learn from as a staff, so that we're always growing, and no different in that case, Joe.
To that note, the holding penalties last week, what were you able to take from watching that back so it doesn't happen as much again this week? Are they calling it more than they were last year? Is there anything you guys are seeing?
Yeah, it's up in 21 versus 20. 20 it had dipped quite a bit, so it's up. That said, we have to do something about it. We've got to move our feet more. We've got to communicate better up front. We've got to help them more at times and adjust and pivot where and when we need to pivot. I think all of that is great. Are great lessons for us.
Where do you think Dion is with his conditioning, the way he's moving around there right now because of what he dealt with, obviously, in training camp when you guys opened?
Yeah, I mean, it's my understanding, Joe, again, on the medical piece that's not a factor at this point. His conditioning is probably a better question for him. What I observe is he's in good shape. Is he in mid-season shape yet? I don't think any of us are, but we're working towards it. You see us out here running sprints, after practice. We've been doing that in training camp. We did it again Wednesday. So that's an ongoing pursuit there.
For Stephon Diggs off the field, whether it's locker room meetings, do you notice any differences of where he is at with the team compared to a year ago? Is he more vocal, anything like that?
Yes, absolutely. That's a hard yes, and very proud of him for that. I mean, it's fun to watch these players grow, as I've already mentioned that, and Steph being one of them. As a leader in this case, speaking to the team, you saw it after the game. I think on the sideline it was documented towards the end of the game when the game was basically the outcome was determined. Going up and encouraging the players and, hey, getting them ready for this week. And I think that says a lot about who he is and who he's growing into.
When did you start to see that shift?
I think it's just been a gradual shift over the course of time since he's been here, and give credit to him as well. I mean, this is a game that's very important to him. He's very passionate about playing and playing at a high level, and he works extremely hard. And also what comes with the C on your chest is added responsibility that way as well.
Sean, we've talked a lot to you about some of the failings of the offensive line from this past week, but how encouraged are you by Cody Ford and how he responded after being in a competition in the last couple of weeks and then to come through as well as he did on Sunday?
Yeah, that's a player that I thought battled in training camp, and he's coming off the injury, and I thought he did some good things in the game this past week, and I've watched his habits in practice this week, and the other day he ran probably 40 yards down the field on a play and covered the play and finished the play the right way, and so those habits are what lead to winning.